like a Troubadour that you don't really need once you've already hit 5 resources. But yeah, it would still be a pretty good card even without any kind of socket on it at all. Like, not pretty good. It would be a very powerful card without any socket at all.
So we see the game starting up. It is a 3-0 deck versus a 3-0 deck, so they are not the only ones up there, but we are looking at a mirror match, likely Ruby Wild versus Ruby Wild, standalones, elf, 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 elf. I see what you did there, Elcra. Yeah.
Does look like both players going to go ahead. Oh, Cirouss did have one mulligan there.
Yeah, he had the mulligan there. His text-to-speech said something about smelling that he couldn't keep it or something. I'm not that text-to-speech has a hard time with this sometimes. We will see Cirouss and his opponent both leading off with Wild Shard. Cirouss follows up with a second Wild Shard. Does he pass the turn? It looks like he does. Not a thrilled-looking Exalted there. But it will be Vegvisir's turn, who will respond to the double Wild threat with a Ruby. And lays down the Sylvan Performer, which is not in itself a ramp card, and it won't allow Vegvisir to play a 5-drop on turn 3, which is a bit of an issue, but it will draw him a card for every 5-drop he plays from here on out. Cirouss finds his own Ruby Shard, lays it onto the board, and now considers what to do. Plays out a Leaf Lyricist, which he must have pulled off the top here. He didn't play it last turn. That will accelerate him to 5 or 6 next turn, depending on how he uses his charge power. And we'll see how Vegvisir responds to that. With Ruby available, he could have Fiery Indignation here to get rid of the Leaf Lyricist, which would slow Cirouss down, but certainly not put him out of the game for a 5-drop on turn 3.
Vegvisir still needs at least one more turn. Ooh,
and he lays down a second Performer here. If this game goes past the turn 4 or 5 threshold here, double Performer is the kind of situation he wants to be in. He swings with his Performer knowing that there's not much Cirouss can do. He just lets that 2 damage through. That's chump change to these Ruby Wild decks. Like, whatever, 2 damage. We will see what Cirouss does in response here.
Cirouss with another wild. If he has Crocosaur, this is probably the time when you go for it.
He does. He lays down that Crocosaur. He will get to destroy both of those Sylvan Performers. Not the worst thing for Vegvisir to lose, but it certainly sets him back on this board state. He's now looking at a 5-6 and a 1-2, and he has nothing on the board himself, as well as being, like, there's not a lot of fantastic 5-drops for him here. Like, his own Crocosaur in response doesn't deal with this board.
Like, probably the best draw.
Nom, 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 nom.
That's exactly right. Forgot that, sorry. The best draw at this point is probably a Majesty.
Oh, he accelerates to 5, he uses the Majesty, and he finds a Crocosaur and a Sylvan Performer. Almost certainly will take the Crocosaur and shoot that damage at Cirouss's face. And now he gets the option of battling the Crocosaur and the Leaf, or not battling at all. He cannot selectively choose. And very certainly, at least in my thought process here, he will be afraid of the extended art cards that Cirouss has and choose not to attack. This is the reason you extend your card's art. It's so the jaws on your Crocosaur look bigger. So this Crocosaur comes to the board and it's all like, nom, 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 nom. No. No.
Run away. Like the scared one from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it doesn't want to deal with this. Anyway, so what would happen is it would destroy the Leaf Lyricist with the... Oh, okay, never mind. That's the interplay battle damage. It would destroy the Leaf Lyricist, but then the Crocosaur would destroy... Cirouss's Crocosaur would destroy Vegvisir's without Vegvisir's destroying Cirouss's.
The Crocosaur was not hungry.
So a Feral Root Acorn comes out from Cirouss here. He chooses to gain a second Wild Threshold instead of any health, plays his own Titania's Majesty, finds a Crocosaur, a Pupil of Creation, and an Ashwood Soloist, plays his own Crocosaur, chooses to ship that damage to Vegvisir's face, and will likely pass the turn here with the inability to swing into the Crocosaur for any sort of value. Well, he could actually get 1 point of damage through. If he swings with both,
It's either 1
Vegvisir,
or 5. Yeah.
yeah, it's either 1 or 5. So it might actually be worth swinging there
Yeah, it kind
if
of
he
depends
doesn't
on the
need
rest
that
of the hand.
bonus resource from the Leaf Lyricist. That is.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of depends on the rest of the hand there.
But with only 2 cards left in hand, hard to say. That being said, leaving behind both Crocosaurs protects against a hard played Walking Calamity, which would be nigh impossible for Vegvisir on this turn.
Now, there is one resource open. On the previous turn, it was a little surprising to see no battle from the Crocosaur, but here I think you could respect something like perhaps the Stinkhorn Soup, if you think that Cirouss is playing that man.
Man, I would love to just read off what his text to speech is reading. Just make that my commentary.
we could do that. It is fun.
Vegvisir letting Cyrus know that his client is having a couple of lag issues. So he's not slow playing his opponent. He is just having a couple of issues. Cyrus says no problem, but you can see the exasperated look on his face. He's close to conceding. Well known, if you slow play Cyrus, he will concede. Without the energy drinks in his life, he can't sit still.
Now, not sure if he has it here, but should be
Nazi's new coffees, more or less, it is very strong.
noted.
That's Cyrus.
Should be noted, one of the things that is pretty interesting interaction with the Crocosaurs both being 5/6s. If Cyrus would happen to have Ruby Shard plus Eternal Sage, you would be able to attack in with both Crocosaurs and kill off the opponents. Oh, that's not what we see here.
He finds a Majesty and a Heart of the Wrathwood, which does a thing that I don't think it should do. And it does it. And then it deals 12 damage to Vegvisir's face, as opposed to the 6 that it should.
And here it's just swing in for the win, unless perhaps we say a lullaby. Nope. Why is that a 12/12? I see from people in Cyrus's chat. Yeah, the reason is that it looks at the plus X. It's in your deck. It copies it, and then it gets plus X when it's in play, where X is your
So the Heart of the Wrathwood has +1/+1 in all zones for each permanent resource you have. Right. And apparently when you grab a copy of that, it allows it to keep it and then doubles up on it, even though it's a state-based effect and shouldn't do that. I know that probably the devs have gone as far as to say that that's the way it should work, but if it is, then that I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, it does feel like it's the kind of thing where it should be state based and just constantly checking how many resources do you have. That's how big I am. Like that would have been my gut anyway. But oh well.
It shouldn't do that considering it has the word has. Correct. I agree.
Yeah, I don't say it that often, but I agree with Penta on this one.
So we're going to have the start of the next game here. So nice that we no longer have to remind people about letting your opponent choose first or whatever, because it's all best of 3. So much better now.
Well, for the top 8 it will matter, but that's one time.
That's true. That's true. Top 8 will matter player draw based on results. That's fine.
You know, that being said, I'm all down for Heart of the Wrathwood being a better card than it is. Because Heart of the Wrathwood is sweet. So Cyrus looking at his hand of 7, not really sure whether to keep it. Wondering if God will agree with him.
Oh man, that Robo Lady chat. We do see the mulligan here. Down to 5. But I saw at least one card from that mulligan that looked like it would be good.
Cyrus actually saying he thinks he's already lost this. Plays out a Ruby Shard first. Now, this is kind of this weird thing. I noticed that the Wild Ruby players always lead with that Wild first, because there are more Wild cards in the deck. You want triple Wild for the Crocosaur. And it just seems to be like that mental better play Wild first. So that's interesting to me to see the...
It's also possible that you could be playing something like Carnosaur, and if you did, you would need to have the double Wild. So maybe there's some people doing that here too.
Just doing a little bit of testing in the arena here, just for my own sake. A copied Periwinkle, Heart of the Wrathwood, gives me a non-doubled up attack damage and whatever. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Ashwood Soloist hitting the board, Leaf Lyricist. Vegvisir having tons of troops on the board already against Cyrus's 2 resources. If next turn he lays out a 5-drop, he gets to gain a card off the Sylvan Performer in addition to just whatever else he puts onto the situation.
I like the Performer because it does one thing really well. It helps you unmulligan your hands if you did have to go down. That's really pretty cool. We haven't seen a whole lot of the Performer today, but I like that. It's not quite as good when you keep playing 2-drops, though.
All of this piddly damage plinking through. Like we were saying before, this really is just chump change for the Majesty deck. It's not looking to get this 1 or 2 damage through. It's looking to beat you up. And Crocosaur from Cyrus's hand, he does hit that triple Wild. He does have his charge power to get to 5. He will get rid of one of the Leaf Lyricists and the Sylvan Performer. Probably the strong choice here.
Yeah, I still like the Sylvan Performer, even though it dies to the Crocosaur. It still seems pretty cool.
And we see a Crocosaur in response. This Crocosaur is not with the intention of battle. This Crocosaur is meant to defend. Vegvisir, careful of his own ability to maintain health.
See, Cyrus going for that second Ruby again.
And Titania's Majesty finds a walking calamity! I'll get excited about it because here comes that 10 damage to the face.
Can we get a boom?
Man, it really doesn't need a boom, does it? GG! And he gets to swing with it. Now here's the thing. Vegvisir can put that Ashwood Soloist in front of it. Go to 1, and then Calamity on his turn, maybe.
That's right.
But it looks like he'll actually throw the Crocosaur in front to mitigate as much damage as possible. Whether or not that truly matters is up for debate. He might need that last resource off Ashwood Soloist, I suppose, is his thought here. He will...
Maybe like a Sin in hand or off the top.
Good game. It is a good game. Cyrus making the little heart. He makes it through... Did he win game 1?
He did.
He did. He's going 4-0 here. Did Cyrus win the first Diamond Cup?
He won the Ruby Cup before. Yeah, he won a deck with a deck that had Diamond in it. Let's find ourselves another one then. What do you say?
It's nice to see so many proving grounds. Like when I'm looking at the front of the stream page, it's like everyone's in the proving grounds.